everyone, this is Lena, and I've been talking about 5 essential components to getting unstuck and being able to make major and lasting shifts in your life. So yesterday in my live, I talked about the 5th component, which was the importance of setting healthy boundaries in your life and the consequences of not setting healthy, loving boundaries. Today, I'm going to talk about the 4th component. So the 4th component is making peace with your past. And with that, I'm going to talk about 3 aspects of making peace with your past. The wounded child, limiting beliefs, also known as agreements, and the power of forgiveness. So very often, the past is very much alive in the present time. And what I mean by that is when we're reacting, as we're going about living our life, reacting to life, we're not often reacting to life through the eyes of an adult, as in adult Lena. A lot of times we react to life through the eyes of a child. And it's not any child, it's a wounded child. A part of us that feels unloved, that feels neglected, that feels insecure, that feels unsafe, and is being triggered in a certain situation. And that's why we disproportionately react to things or become extremely emotional about things. It's actually the wounded child in us that is being provoked. And we all have a wounded child, but when we don't acknowledge this wounded child, it ends up controlling your life. And you don't want a wounded child controlling your life and making the decisions for you subconsciously and your choices. And what this wounded child needs from us, first of all, is to become aware of it, to be present to it, and to give that part of ourselves the love, care, and safety that that part of us has always wanted. Okay? And when we actually help the wounded child in us process that woundedness, then that child becomes liberated from feeling hurt and can actually be a happy, healthy child that just wants to play, be creative, and be curious in the world. So that's the first aspect to making peace with your past, is really connecting with that wounded child inside of us. The second aspect to making peace with our past is understanding how we've been conditioned. So how we've developed our limiting beliefs, also known as agreements. So an agreement is basically an idea that we believe to be true. And these agreements permeate our whole life, all the themes in our life, from money to relationships, to health in our body, to death, to sexuality, everything. Okay? So basically, as a child, we learnt about the world through these agreements that we will have absorbed from our parents, or that we will have developed based on what we experienced or what we observed as children. And some of these agreements are really great and are valuable, but some of them are really, they don't serve us any longer. So a very typical agreement is, what is a good girl? What is a bad girl? What do I need to do to get love and acceptance? What do I need to avoid so that I'm not disapproved of? Okay? And these agreements or limiting beliefs basically follow us throughout our lives, and they end up sabotaging us in terms of our abundance, in terms of money, but also in terms of our relationships and love, and in terms of our health. So in this part, it's essential to actually take an inventory of your agreements. Whatever part of your life you're struggling with, sit and write down what are the beliefs you actually have about X, Y, Z. Now, on a conscious level, we all want money, we all want health, we all want loving relationships, but that's just 5% of us. 95% of us is subconscious. So we really need to go underneath the surface and take note, get emotionally honest with ourselves, and start journaling about what are really the beliefs we hold about X, Y, Z. And also journal about what experiences have you had with this. What is it that led to those beliefs? When were those beliefs reinforced? In what kind of experiences and situations? Yeah? And then ask yourself, what have been the consequences of holding on to those beliefs, and how would your life change if you transformed, if you reframed these beliefs? So here, this is where journaling is very powerful. So I've talked about the wounded child. I've talked about understanding your own conditioning through the agreements that you made. And the third part is forgiveness. So forgiveness, it's not about saying what people did is okay. Forgiveness is about ourselves. And once we've realized the patterns from our past and our mechanisms from our past, it's important to take the decision to actually let things go. Because without forgiveness, we can't move forward in our life. We can't have peace and happiness in our life, and we deserve that. Okay? So it's really these three things that make up the fourth component of making peace with our past. Now, what I've just shared with you now is pretty intense, and it's not so easy to do this on your own. And that's why I've developed an online program called Detox from Judgment and Shine Your Light in the World. It's just for women. It's online, and it's a live online program. It starts April 3rd, where I actually guide you, a small group of women, through a process of working through each of the 5 components. So last time I talked about the 5th one, how to set healthy boundaries, and today I talked about how to make peace with your past. The reason why this is important is because when we don't make peace with our past, it's like we're always living in our past. It's like there are these invisible strings that are holding us back. Okay? So I found myself that when I haven't gone through this process of acknowledging my wounded child, taking note of the agreements that no longer serve me, and then going into a process of forgiveness to let go of things, to honor my experiences because they've made me who I am, then I'm going to be sitting with victimization. I'm going to be sitting with a deep-seated resentment. And like I said, it's not easy to do this on your own. That's why I developed this really amazing online program. So if you want to know more about this program, you can send me an email, drlenabaho@gmail.com. I'm happy to book a 20-minute call with you just to hear about what's going on for you and how can this program for women, this detox program actually, how can it help? So if you have any questions or comments, you can also write them in the comments box. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a blessed day. Thank you.